Hello everyone, and welcome to the 15th installment of my commentary series. Before I get this commentary underway, I simply want to make a few remarks. First off, my return is temporary. I simply felt the need to drop in and make my opinion clear on a couple things these clans have been struggling with over the past few weeks. Second off, I'm happy to see more people making videos similar to my own. I'm not claiming that I inspired these people to make these videos. I'm simply happy to see people being more willing to make their opinions known publicly. This opens them up to debate, which in my opinion can only be beneficial to this community. With that out of the way, let's get into the topic at hand. What makes a superpower clan? Over the past couple weeks, this community has been struggling to find a group of set requirements that, once met, would make a clan a superpower. I argue this concept is completely flawed. A superpower, although there is no clear definition, is normally seen as a single party that holds significant influence over the community in which it's in. This notably would have no set requirements, although the party in question would normally have a large population, it would normally have a strong media presence, it would normally have good leadership. These are in no way requirements. It is theoretically possible that this party in question could be a single person. This may seem shocking, and I argue it's nearly impossible. Nonetheless, theoretically, one person could obtain such strong influence over an entire community that that single person could earn the title superpower by themselves without being affiliated with anybody else. When we apply this definition to this community, we suddenly see that there really is only one party that could fit the definition of superpower. That would be the United Nations. If we think about it, a lot of clans or a lot of individuals' activities revolve around the United Nations. A good thought experiment to judge if a party is a superpower is to see what would happen if that party was removed from the community. To conduct this experiment, you simply have to think about what would happen if that clan collapsed or fell apart. For example, let's take clans that have already fallen and apply this test to them. The former V100, when they collapsed, were there major changes in the community? No. Were there changes? Yes. Were these changes so significant that it affected the entire community? No. Obviously, this clan was not important enough that changes occurred when they collapsed. It can be said from that this clan is not a superpower. Let's take the Advent into example. When the Advent fell, did the community change? Slightly. Were these changes major? No. The Advent was not a superpower. Let's take the UN into example. If the UN was to collapse, would there be major changes? Yes. Why? Because a lot of the clans focus their political agendas and military alliance agendas around what the United Nations is doing. They also judge what their security should be by what the United Nations does. As for example, if the UN puts someone on their blacklist, it's not unusual to see people on the UN blacklist appear on other clans' quote-unquote blacklist, even though that person did nothing to that clan in general. It's simply assumed that if the UN has good cause to dislike this person, they should too. This influence is seen by no other clan. As such, the UN is really the only clan that can earn the title superpower. The blacklist is simply an example, and this applies to various things. For example, the UN deemed the UCR a significant threat to the community. As such, the entire community responded and started attacks against the UCR, and this happened to RE as well. Now let's see what would happen if the Advent did this. Would other clans side with them? Maybe they're allies, but in reality, the response would be nowhere near as significant as if the UN did it. Once again, this is an attribute that is displayed by superpowers and not average clans. Now, with that out of the way, I feel the need to clarify that when I say the UN is a superpower, that does not mean that they are a power. This is interesting concept, and it will take a little bit of explaining. A superpower defines how a clan interacts with other clans. A clan power, in general, describes how the clan is internally. For example, a clan power in general has a strong military, a strong political system, strong leadership, etc. You cannot have a one person power. You can have a one person superpower. Because a power in general is seen as being extremely stable. A superpower, normally, as I said, normally most superpowers are powers. As such, most superpowers would be stable, but it is possible that for a superpower to be unstable. With this clear, I argue the UN is solely a superpower, not really a power. It's not the strongest military. By no means the strongest military. I could make a decent argument that it doesn't have the best decision-making body. Some people would argue it doesn't have the best leadership. So these things that are normally displayed by powers, the UN is lacking. Nonetheless, the UN is a superpower. There are various clans in this community that are indeed powers, the 100. DoD may be becoming power. We'll see how that goes. There are a couple other clans that are candidates. I wouldn't say the UUF is a power. This isn't really because of a lack of leadership or anything along those lines. It's simply because their military is so disorganized. From all reports I'm hearing, borderline disarray. Not in that it's rebellions. It's simply because it's poorly trained, poorly organized, except for certain branches, the Marines, etc. But other than that, the UUF military as a whole is relatively unorganized. As such, that kind of takes them away with the title power. I believe I've discussed this topic relatively thoroughly. This is going to be a pretty brief commentary. I may be making a few more commentaries soon. No promises on those. I feel I've discussed this topic pretty thoroughly, so this is Power out.